Get a grip on oh so many wheels right here, right now. Greetings Rommies and welcome to Rum, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to our special videos about the Sim Formula Europe 2024. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more to our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. The line between motorsport and sim racing is growing ever thinner. At the Sim Racing Expo we learned that SimRep was commissioned to build a wheel by Cosworth that was very near to those used in IndyCar, and as we now learned at the Sim Formula Europe from Italian remaker Cube Controls, they have collaborated with two other important companies in the world of motorsport. Let's go check it out. We got a closer look at the GTPRO V2 Cube Controls released in November, as we told you in our news. The buttons are RGB backlit and the 32cm rim has two different ways to connect, as this wheel uses the magnetic connector Cube Controls have been deploying since 2022, as well as the Bluetooth wireless connection. Another novelty this wheel has, and something that we hear more and more often from the companies, is that you can separate the button box from the rim, so you can mix your preferred style in the setup of the buttons with your preferred style of rim. Something we saw in full bloom at the Sim Racing Expo 2023, done by Acetec, as you may remember. Cube Controls are happy to follow that example, and us sim racers seem to love that too, as they sold out the wheel soon after releasing it. We did ask Cube Controls what the driving force behind this shift was, and they said that price was the main reason. They were very keen to ensure that they are delivering the very best experience while giving great value for money at this price point. Good for them. Something you all can look forward to coming from Cube Controls is the GTX2, which they expect to release in February. This is the first collaboration with Motorsports I was talking about at the beginning, as this wheel was produced together with Honda. It has the same shape and the buttons the same functions as those in the Honda Civic Type R 2023. Of course, it's not one-on-one the same. The buttons are RGB backlit, the connection to the base or to your computer is via USB, and only USB, and it has a 5-inch display. You can replace the handles of these wheels so as to change the diameter of it. The way Cube Controls tells the story, Honda was searching for a partner to build the wheel and settled on Cube Controls, which is great news for them and for sim racing in general. One thing we've seen on many other wheels at this expo, but we first noticed in this Cube Controls wheel, was that they have two buttons that are combination switches. Rotaries, push button, and they can also function as a joystick or funky switch. While the spectacle and push forward in combined tech here is impressive, we're not sure if having all this functionality on one physical switch is good, as misclicks are much more likely if you aren't focusing on what you're doing, rather looking at the racetrack. What do you think, Rummies? The GTX2 can be delivered in 4 different colors for the front plate, and if you have an Acetec base, you can plug an Acetec quick release easily on the wheel, as it's also possible for the CSX3 wheel from Cube Controls. Coming back to that real-world connection once again, a very interesting development is the collaboration with Mercedes-AMG. Cube Controls produced the wheel used in the real-life car and then, based on that design, adapted it to the needs of us sim racers. The result is kinda the same wheel for sim racing and real racing. The real-life version is for the Mercedes-AMG Track Series. The sim racing version is going to be called the Mercedes-AMG GT Edition. The Mercedes-AMG Track Series is a limited edition customer racing car brought out by the company. One interesting thing I noticed is that the real-life wheel has rounded, unprotected buttons, whereas the sim racing version had flat-topped RGB backlit buttons with guards to stop misclicks. We also noted on the floor that the shifter paddles are very loud on the real-life version of the wheel, as opposed to the sim race version. Not surprising, given the previous reasons for their other choices, but still fantastic to see the small differences still required between sim racing and real racing. For the future, Cube Controls expects further collaborations with motorsport companies, which would result in similar products to the Mercedes-AMG wheels, with one version for motorsport and another for sim racing. Like the prototype they are developing with Mercedes-AMG of a 29cm steering wheel that has more of a Formula feeling, completely made of carbon fiber with RGB backlit buttons. You will be able to change the handles on this one too, whilst keeping the diameter fixed at 29cm. At the moment it weighs a kilo, and Cube Controls expect to keep the weight in that range. No specific date was given for its release, just sometime this year. No name has been decided yet either. For those of us who don't have that much money, or those who are just starting, Cube Controls has the F-Core steering wheel ready for only €499, which brings the expected Cube Controls quality while not having the bells and whistles the other wheels have. Optional clutch paddles are available and have to be paid extra, and the same goes for aluminum shifters. The wheel can be used wireless or through USB. Oh, and if you have their pedals and are missing a clutch, they are working on it. No date or price range given. And how can selected sim racers differentiate themselves from the plebs that use 4 paddles in their wheel? By using 6 paddles, of course, which is what the CSX3 brings. All jokes aside, as the paddles are all programmable, you can use them for activating the windscreen wipers, flashing lights, directional indicators, or even brake bias or traction control. Being excellent in the paddle world comes with a price tag of €1,200. Cube Controls is thriving together with sim racing and together with the motorsport world. Of course, we sim racers are proud of the steady connection between the two worlds, as many of us love motorsports. We're looking forward to hearing more from Cube Controls in the future.